Okay, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Class Non-Classics. This is episode number 1613 and double number 1507. Once again, Annihilators and Hulk. This time we have the sequel to Annihilators, Annihilators Earthfall. Same writers, Dan M. and Lenny. And the artwork in here is done by still same writer, same artist, Tan Hunt. Yep. Pretty much this book, the Annihilators come to Earth. Why have they come to Earth? Adam Warlock and the Universal Church of Truth. Yep, that is literally the reason for it. And when they come to Earth, they get into a fight with the Avengers. By the way, this actually is from... This is a mixture of Brian Muck. This is from the Heroes. I think this was... Because you have Steve Rogers back in the costume, I think this is just after Fear itself. That's probably when this takes place. Because you have mostly some people who are associated with the regular Avengers team, New Avengers, and a little bit of Secret Avengers in here. Because the Avengers you have in here, of course you have Captain America, obviously. But you also have Spider-Man, Thor, obviously. Let's see if I can find him here. Yeah, it's mostly these are members. You have the Thing. Valkyrie is probably from Secret Avengers. Spider-Man, Red Hulk, Iron Man, Thor. I don't say Thor here, but I don't think he's here. Captain America, Miss Marvel, and Wolverine. Yep. This lineup here, mixture of about 3 different teams, because at this point when this book came out, Iron Man and Captain America and Red Hulk were on the main Avengers team. Spider-Man, Miss Marvel, Wolverine, and the Thing were on New Avengers, and the only Secret Avenger you have here is, of course, Valkyrie. Yes, Valkyrie was at one point a Secret Avenger. Yep. And of course, they get into a fight with the Annihilators, and this all relates to the Universal Church. They're basically battling the faith of the Universal Church of Truth, who have a base on Earth, and the Annihilators are trying to shut it down. So after getting into a brief fight with them, by the way, we actually have, get this, you have Spider versus Quasar, who does know Quasar, probably because the teams with each other. Like, oh, hey, Wendell, what's going on here? Not now, Spider-Man. I thought it was so funny. So, this also relates to Magnus, which I thought that was really cool. But, yeah. Now, in case you're curious how much time has passed by between Annihilators and Annihilators Earthfall, given the fact that it seems as though some time has passed by because Icon is still on the team, I would probably say it's been a few months since the first miniseries. Though, like the first miniseries, where the issues are actually a lot thicker than they are here the issues are shorter. Well, mostly the Rock Raccoon Groot issues are shorter. Now, the only reason why this miniseries existed because I think the first miniseries actually made money. But this one, no. It wasn't big of a hit from what I can tell because after this miniseries wrapped up, the Annihilators appeared once after this. Once. In a Thanos one-shot. And you're thinking, really? Yeah, really. And the whole thing with the bring about the return of Adam Warlock, that's barely followed up with. I think Adam Warlock does mention return. Oh, not for several years. Let me think here about this. Let me look it up on here because I think. It was the very revelation. Yeah. Now, as far as you can tell from Adam Warlock, he does eventually return after this. And he eventually returns in the Definitive Revelation, which was actually the return of the Annihilators, and they got beat by Thanos. And then never seen again. No, seriously, they would never seen again. Excuse me. Excuse me. Apologies for keep sneezing. Just happened to happen that way. So they beat the Universal by basically take away their faith by having Gladiator hop in this big pit and taking care of basically rid their faith. And then pretty much the whole group is basically deported off Earth. Yep. And as for Annihilators themselves, like I said, they don't appear again for 3 years. When they pop up in Thanos' Relativity, and that's it. Yeah, seriously. It's almost like Dan and Len was hoping Marvel would do something with this group, because here's the weird thing about this. About this book. I'm going to give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Now, they would do one more book after this. One book. Together. And you're thinking, what would be the next book Dan having to work on with Andy Lanning? After this miniseries wrapped up in December 2011. That was roughly almost 10 years ago. Well, in the case of works together, they would work on at least a couple more books together. They worked on Heroes for Hire. Yes, they worked on Heroes for Hire. The third volume for the series. Yep, they worked on that. Actually, they worked on that book before they worked on this one. Yes. They worked on this book at the same time. First issues of New Mutants, but after Earth will wrap up, they mostly stuck with New Mutants for a while. Up until the finale. And then they have this one last comic they worked on together. Which is basically the Guardians of the Galaxy Prelude. Which was the last book they worked on together. And that was 7 years ago. Yep. Yeah, that was by far the last book they worked together. But Dan himself would continue working on Marvel, doing a few books. He worked on Guardians 3000, Karvak Saga, Guardians of Infinity, Hercules, Civil War 2 Gods of War, and a couple one-shots. And that's it for what he did for Marvel. Of course, the last book came out was roughly just recently. Yep. Of course, that was the first book he did in, like, a couple years. Yeah, the first book he did in 2 years. Before he did Silver Surfer, that was for Annihilation Scourge. That was the first book he did in 3 years. And I think, okay, what about Andy Lanning after this particular book, after he wrapped up this book? Well, let me see about that. Apparently, after working together for a long time, let's see, Andy Lanning worked on, after Mutants wrapped up, actually, the Guardians Prelude, he worked on 2 one-shots. He worked on 100th Anniversary Special, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Guardians of the 5. And that's it. By the way, the Guardians Team of 5, that was roughly about 6 years ago. Yeah, we worked on like a what-if shoot now. Was pretty much it when it comes to these two. But what about the group themselves, the Annihilators? Like, after this group, apparently the spin-off panel, because this group was never mentioned again. Well, in the case of, let's see, for Gladiator, he, I think, later returned the pages of All New X-Men as part of that trial of Jean Grey stuff. He's found occasionally since then, but hasn't much. Quasar. He himself, oh boy, this guy. Like, here's the weird thing. Like, after that one shot with Thanos, he didn't appear again for 2 years. He popped up in a standoff where he passed the mantle of Quasar to a brand new character. No, I'm not kidding about that. A brand new character who just showed up in the comics. And he just passed the mantle to her. And she became the Quasar. By the way, they outed her as a lesbian in the book. Of course, Nick Spencer created her, so it's not really a big issue with me. But he was training her, and nothing. No, seriously, nothing. Like, this guy's appearances have been so scarce, like, over the years. Yeah, he pops up, like, a handful of times since then. It's almost like for him, it's like Marvel forgets this guy exists. No, seriously, it seems like he just basically, like, Marvel just completely forget he exists. Well, he did come back in the most recent volume for Guardians of the Galaxy. Yep, he came back for that. But prior to that, he popped up like a few times since stand-up, popped up for a couple issues of Captain America, and then they returned again for about 3 or 4 years. But then he was added a part of the most recent volume for Guardians. But here's one for you. Icon, the original member who actually joined with basically this group. Well, she popped up Infinity for play a minor role in that. Yeah, popped up for Infinity. Like, after this popped up for 2 issues of Avengers. Popped up Infinity #1. And that one shot, and that's it. She has not been seen in 7 years. Ronan is currently dead. Yeah, Don DeCo's killed him off in Death in Humans. He was still actually somewhat active. Yeah, he was the only member aside from Gladiator who actually did practically anything at this group basically stopped working together. Cosmo himself will still occasionally appear in Guardians. Not as much as he used to, but he would still occasionally appear. But this book was actually pretty good. Alright, next up it is The Incredible Hulk Volume 2, Fall of the Hulks. And you're thinking, wait, you bought the first book, why did you buy this one? Why did you check the library? Well, money saving thing. Now, this book just collects issues of Incredible Hulk 608, 606, 608, and Fall of Hulks Alpha, written by Greg Pak and Jeff Parker. Let me point this out, that it does not collect the entire issue, per se. There's an actual backup feature that ran this title for about 11 issues. Started 601, wrapped up 611. It's a backup feature related to the Lyra She-Hulk. Mostly put, this is basically the Fall of Hulk side for Incredible Hulk. That's simply what this is. It leads up until World War Hulks. Yep. We've also got some fighting in here. It's mostly like a lot of the time just in these issues, just, well, aside from the stuff dealing with the prelude of the Fall of Hulks, it seems as though that the main book itself, mostly with backstory related to Betty Ross and like the leader per se, but it's mostly just, well, Scar being a hero and battling Doctor Doom for a few issues. Yeah, it's mostly just Scar fighting everybody, like first Doctor Doom, then She-Hulk, Thor, like fighting all of Thor's old battles, and that's all that literally happens here. There's not a lot happens in these issues. I mean, I gotta admit, this is actually pretty good writing here. Is there any funny bits in here? Well, mostly put in the case of Fallen Hulks. I mean, it's supposed to like say deal with some kind of fall, but not really. It seems like though in the case of this book, like a lot of the action just building up toward. Well, basically one of the big things that happened here is having Sakaar fighting Betty Ross, fighting Red She-Hulk, who actually is Betty Ross, by the way. Yeah, Scar fighting his stepmom. That must not have been fun. Of course, he finds out later. Yeah, and then of course he fights Thor. Of course he fights Thor because he fights all the old enemies of the Hulk. Yeah, War Machine come up in here. Mostly it's like so basically the whole thing they deal with like various people who are affected by or you have being burying up files. Like I was also a nerd who was looking to marry the most beautiful woman in the Southwest, which yeah, she definitely is. Boy Scouts file selected. Yeah, Namor, Dorma, Craig, Harrow, Mormont, the Korg. Probably his best friend, and Spider-Man denying the fact he knows Gwen Stacy, Hercules, and Marco, who used to be engaged to Wolverine, which I thought was a really nice bit. Yep, and they also mentioned Betty's alive. Of course, they know this point, but the readers know later on that she is in fact Red She-Hulk, and they basically just build a way to take down the Intelligentsia, which basically plays out in World War Hulks. But this is still kind of fun, and also nice seeing Lyra in a Fantastic Four costume. It's like her awesome cousin She-Hulk. Yep, pretty fun book. I give this one a 9.5 out of 10. Yes, this way I could say like not lots that happens. Basically, for these issues, it's lots of setup for World War Hulks. But like in the case of Hulk, this book went hiatus for 3 months before eventually it did come back. But at least went a hiatus at even number compared to Hulk, which did at an odd number, which was 21. This was a 608. Yep. So yeah, that's this particular review. Not much to say about these two trades. Both good, per se. I mean, yeah, I did contradict myself saying that. Well, in the case of Incredible Hulk Volume 2, Fall of the Hulks, you could say not much that happens. It's mostly a lot of setup and Sakaar fighting more of his father's old foes. Yep, and I love the whole stuff with really like the backstory. Yeah, and also saying that Betty Ross was the most beautiful woman in the Southwest, which okay, I can kind of buy it. I can also say she's one of the hottest women in the country. Which, yes, Bruce Banner was definitely the lucky guy to marry this woman. Yep. So yeah, that's the particular review. I'm hoping time to do one more video. I did say I was going to do 3 comic corners, but I think I'll save it for tomorrow. I just want to do these 2 tonight because they've been ready since like a couple of days, but I didn't get a chance to yesterday, but I really want to get these done today. So I'll just do one more Super Sentai video, and that'll probably be it for today, okay? Next video. Bye.